Hello everybody, my name is Red Eye Fire, and today we will be going over a fast-forwarded build of how I created the great city of the Oasis. So, right now I had two objectives for the city. The first one is that I created a little list of the population, the shops, the wealth of the city, the military might, and the navy might. I did this for pretty much every single great city, and I have a little schedule for the towns as well. The populations are split into more classifications and not yet numbers. One population means 50 people or less, a 2 means 500 people or less, a 3 means 250 people or less, a 4, 1000, and a 5, 4000. So here I'm starting to map things based off of the shape that I originally designed from the larger map and try to scale it down to this portion. I will make a top side view, which I'm doing right now, and then a bottom side view, which is why I split them up into the 20 tile units and the little unit bar on the left there. So as you can see in the middle of the lake, there are all the shops, and I'm just setting up boats around it so it feels more natural to have the text there. And I'm going back and forth between what I want to do. I'm also looking at those tunnels, which I made on the map to show that it goes underground. But now I am instead using these larger buildings to represent the area in which someone may enter the city proper, which are set up, spread across the oasis itself. So yeah, I'm just getting more buildings to populate the surrounding area, just so that it can feel like it has a nicer surface zone to it. And I will put some shops up here in the future when I go to the naming system. Another thing that really helps the map making, if I have that list there, I can just do and start listing off numbers where the shops would be. There we go, I'm making it 15 right now. So there we go, 15. That's the Master Alchemist shop. I think I was making a mistake in going back to that. That's supposed to be a blacksmith shop. Oh, I paused here for a bit. Why did that happen? Oh. Yeah, there we go. 14. Blacksmith. So I assume all these neighborhoods up here are much more on a trade and clientele business. It's all like a massive face, while the majority of the people live on the ground. So I copied the spacing there, and now I'm trying to build the underground. I'm getting rid of layers. I'm decided to keep the top layer on, and then edit the underground area to dig out those holes. So there we go, me working away, creating the hole, and then realizing, hey, I think I did it in reverse. Yeah, so I realized I did it in reverse, and then I need to undo it. There we go. Now I'm trying to copy the lake somewhat, but not exactly, um, in its shape and form. So I want to like this area look like it's somewhat natural, but also dug out for the people. But it does follow the lake pattern above. Honestly, I think it took a little bit of Breath of the Wild inspiration, and then I tried to change the background color. Now I'm just pulling up all the unique shops, so I have a repertoire to work with. And then I realized, hey, that's a little not windmill, what's it called? Mill. So I put it up there just for added decoration. And then there you saw the city blocks of like regular housing. So I took a mental note of that. And then I was trying to find the arena. This is a big what's it called? This is a big coliseum in the middle of the map. The people here like a good fight, and I was debating if I go with this, go with something else, because I do already have a coliseum map. So I decided, hey, everything's going to center this coliseum, and then I'm going to make the black market or thieves area right beside there. Of course, just in the heart of downtown. So there we go. There's our black market. And then I'm also adding the Coliseum right here. Once I figure out how to spell it, there we go. As for shops, it starts off with level 1 shopping market, which just has a bower shop, general goods, leatherworking, and vendor shops. Then at level 2, it'll have blacksmith, bookstores, innkeep, taverns, alchemist shops, and temple services. At number 3, it'll have adventurer shops, jewelries, mundane magical items. At 4, it'll have master blacksmiths, master alchemy shops, uncommon magical item dealers, even a black market, and then a games and music shop and a tailor. And then finally at 5, it'll have a rare magical item dealer and a master arcane shop. As far as wealth is determined, it's based off the average citizen. Number 1 is squaddle, which is dirt cheap, and then there's number 2, which is poor, then there's 3 modest, and then 4 comfortable, and then 5 comfortable to wealthy is the average. But yeah, I think this concept stays where some neighborhoods will have little bits of pieces, but everything else is in the downtown core. So at this point, I was wondering, how do I imagine this underground city section? And I thought would be really nice and beautiful is a giant crystal lake where the below cavern is this clear, opaque hollowness, and the sun shines through the water. Oh wait, hold on, I gotta stop with that because this is the ziggurat. This is the religious area, and also where the Sultan will reside. This will pretty much work as both the, again, religious face of the city as well as the higher power, which they would both have. Shops. So the crystal, go back to the crystal. I have it so it pretty much the sun shines through the water, and then that illuminates the whole city as they have built it below to cool themselves off, as well as create a very intricate network of city streets to pretty much aid and abet them in combat scenarios if the need ever arises, which it does. There you go, finding the regular smith there. Just placing about 3 shops of the common stuff, and then about the new stuff, I just have at least 1 shop. That 5 got turned upside down. So at this point, I'm just finishing off the remaining common shops and putting them in buildings of less importance. Because by this point, the party is already probably not in need of those kinds of shops. So it doesn't really matter. But they're good to have just in case you ever want it. And now I start building the rich neighborhood around the pretty much what is essentially the around the ziggurat and housekeep. And then I try to anchor the buildings, separate and section off the different areas, and then I realize, hey, at this point I may as well start making the roadways. So I start testing with different materials until I find the sand one, and then add a little bit of details to it later. Come on, past me. You can get there. There we go. And I ended up going with the sand one. Connecting it all to the main Coliseum. getting surrounding bits. So I moved that because I was stuck there. And then I realized I think I like changed around a lot of these letters. So I didn't know all these numbers. So I changed them back. And then we start putting in the regular housing units. And we start piling them up, tightening them, making it so this whole place looks very compact and somewhat disorganized. So that's just the way people here want to preserve it. So once I'm done with the block, I start going to the individual housing units and just placing them when I can. And at this point, I decide to make a little bit of pathways for the mature people, just to symbolize that status difference. So there we go, they have proper roadways that are maintained. And then I start doing the same thing with the shops around where people would likely be stepping a whole bunch. And then I started to make more foliage around the oasis because I realized, yes, it would probably, it's a desert, but it would probably be very alive and living around this neighborhood. In addition, there is military might, which is the percentage of the population that could become militant. With level 1, it is 50%, only consisting of soldiers and archers. At level 2, it is 50%, which veterans and knights are also now a part of the army. At level 3, it is 20% going up, and mages and cavalry and ballista are added to the army's pool of utility. And then at level 4, still 20%, but now it has cannoneers, um, battering rams, and then it starts getting Scarly, and then it starts having riflemen. And then at level 5, it's 25%, and it includes constructs and trebuchets. Now, finally, as for Navy, at level 1, it's just nothing, but maybe minor trade ships, and then level 2, it's just trade ships. Level 3, there's a single battleship they have access to, and then level 4, it's 5 battleships, and then at level 5, it is a warship with 10 battleships. And then sand dunes as well for the heart area to give the rest of the map a little bit more texture. And then I decided to also make rock walls. Now, silly me forgot that I could customize my own, so you're gonna see me working with these weird bacon strips for a little bit before I literally just draw all around the walls. So you get frustrated there. So I decided to start working on the side. And to realize, oh, I might have to edit it later, and I'm like, oh, that's sticking out. And then I delete them all. Remember, oh yeah, there's a line tool. Find it again. That's the wrong way. So I start tracing down from the bottom. And there we go. That looks way much better. And it gives some definition to the city borders. So for the oasis itself, it has a population of 4, which is about 10 10,000. It has a foreign shop, so there is much to buy here, but not everything. It has a wealth of 2. The average citizen here is very poor, but not the worst off. And then a military might of 3. Not great for a city of its scale, but they make do with their environment. And then a navy of 1 because it is a complete landlocked city aside from the oasis, which doesn't go anywhere. I forgot. So that was like a little bit of extra textile to the floor pattern just there. And then I was trying to see if I can make the colors stand out differently. I decided to give up on it. Just keep it as white and then black, which should be fine. It's going to be big on the player screen anyways. I now have a description of the oasis, which is what I based this model on, and that is a blessing in the desert. The oasis is home to many who lie beneath the earth. Many humanoids, reptilians, and other beings adapted to the harsh climates reside here, by the lakeside underneath the city. While they hold animosity against the Templars from the peninsula, ever since their peace treaty, the political factions in the oasis have begun to rise up. Despite the people here staying steadfast in their beliefs, the land is still full of enchanting energy and entertainment. Alright, I think I finally should just describe some of the characters here. So, one of the first characters is the Sultan. I do not have a name for them, but I think the Sultan works just fine. Yeah, the current leader of the Oasis. I lied, I gave them a name. Malki. So they are a lizard folk, however, they look just like a crocodile. He surrounds himself with military leaders and treasurers, as well as a harem. He works his life to create this sanctuary of pleasure for the desert. And as much as he indulges in himself, he does always want his people's condition to improve. He never wants to grow contemptuous of his worship. Now, on the alternative, unfortunately, war is on the break against the Church of Shalesh. They find the people of the Oasis way of life a threat to their own. He has a Marshal Shaza. She is the Sultan's most trusted military advisor. She is a Yuan-Ti pure blood that has climbed the ranks through her cutthroat nature. But she does have the support of the people and the rebellion of the people against the church if the need of it arises. Finally, we have the Oasis Champions. The Oasis Champions are a pair, another Yuan-Ti, as well as a pork, which is a pig person, stolen from your realms. Their history together has been lost to the sands of time, but they still remain the most popular in the arena.